Hello everyone and welcome back to Mixing Continents. Today we are diving into the world of refreshing cocktails with the Mojito. One of my favourite classic cocktails to have on a hot day in the sun, as it not only gets you drunk but keeps you hydrated at the same time, which I find rather efficient. And on that note, if you're in a hurry, here's the 30-second spec. The Mojito combines 60 milliliters or 2 ounces of white rum, 30 milliliters or 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, 15 milliliters or half an ounce of simple syrup, around 6 to 8 fresh mint leaves, and topped off with soda water. It's a built cocktail that you'll start by muddling the limes into the bottom of your glass, and you'll want to serve it into a highball filled with crushed ice and garnish with a sprig of mint and a lime wheel. And for a bit of context, the Mojito hails from the Caribbean and has a history as vibrant as its flavours. An early rendition of the Mojito can be traced back to the 16th century when English sea captain and explorer Sir Francis Drake drank this during his expeditions to Havana, Cuba. In its early days, the Mojito was consumed for its perceived medicinal properties. A combination of lime, sugar and mint was believed to have healing qualities, often prescribed to sailors as a remedy for scurvy and other ailments. But this cocktail rose to fame during the early 20th century, as it was a favourite to the illustrious author Ernest Hemingway, who frequented La Bodeguita del Muddillo, a famous bar in Havana. But before we dive into making this cocktail, let's gather all the tools that we'll need to make this drink. You'll want to start by getting out a sharp knife to cut your limes, a muddler to crush your limes, a jigger to measure, and a bar spoon for mixing up your drink. Traditionally, this will be served in a highball, but I'm using a tall highball for my glass today to present the Mojito in all its glory. Now for the ingredients that we'll be using today. We'll need some white rum, and I'm going to be using Bacardi Carta Blanca to provide a clean canvas for this cocktail. Next we'll need some simple syrup. I'm using some 1-to-1 Demerara syrup that I made the other day. And to balance this out, we'll need a couple whole limes and a handful of fresh mint. And depending on the size of the leaves, I'd say about 6 to 8 will do just fine to provide the aromatics that we need to complete the herbaceous notes of this cocktail that makes the Mojito so distinctive. To start, prep some crushed ice however you deem necessary. Then grab one of your limes and cut that into wedges. After that, grab your mint and then pluck off however many leaves that you think you'll need. Then to start making the drink, you're going to want to grab 4 to 5 of the lime wedges and pop those into the bottom of your glass, and then add 15 milliliters of simple syrup and gently muddle those ingredients together. You are looking for roughly 30 milliliters of lime juice, but if you are looking a bit short, you can always squeeze in more or add some later to taste. Then add your mint, and you want to use about 6 to 8 leaves, and before adding them to the glass, make sure to give them a good slap. This will help release some of the oils within the leaves. Some people like to add the leaves when they muddle the drink, but personally I don't like to bruise the leaf or have little bits floating in my cocktail, but the choice is yours. Next, add 60 milliliters of your favourite white rum, then fill the glass with crushed ice. To finish, top off your cocktail with a splash of soda water, adding the hydrating quality that I like so much. And begin to stir all those ingredients to marry the flavours together. Then for garnish, add a sprig of fresh mint and a lime wedge. Or wheel, but make sure to slap the mint before adding it to your cocktail. This technique releases an abundance of aromatic oils, intensifying the flavour and enhancing the overall sensory experience of your Mojito. Trust me, it's worth it. And there you go, a symphony of fresh citrus, fragrant mint and smooth rum. It's a balance of sweet and sour and herbaceous notes that make it a go-to cocktail for any occasion, especially those warm sunny days on the beach. And don't be afraid to experiment with this one and add some more interesting flavours in there as well. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed learning the craft of making a classic Mojito. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And for more cocktail recipes and adventures, you can visit my blog at mixandmooch.com. But until next time, cheers, and I'll see you on the next episode.